Yeah, it's very important for her to be up there and here tonight, so thank you. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Dirk. So Hunter Kelly with Rare Country. Just wanted to ask about another big thing coming up, the ACM Awards. There's an ACM in there, but you're hosting this year.
Yes.
How are you preparing? Are you scared?
I should be more scared, I think. That's another thing. I'm going to have to be there to actually fully comprehend what's going on there. I've never done anything hosting like that before, but I'm with Luke, so it's like, I mean, he's gonna. I feel like he's like a parachute for me. He's gonna do something way worse or say something off the cuff, or he's gonna take. He'll be taking all the fire for me, I think. But I'm excited about it. You know, I've had a chance to do so much in country music, and I'm always looking for a new challenge. And that opportunity came up, and I was like, yeah, that's something that makes me feel pretty uncomfortable. So I should do it. Always looking for those things that kind of make you feel a little uneasy, and certainly being a host, something I've never done before. With Luke, you never know what he's going to say. Will be a good challenge, so we'll see how it turns out. If it's good, like I don't know what opera star says, that was a Porter, or maybe it was Little Jimmy Dickens. If it's a good show, I'll take credit for it. If you don't like it, blame it on Luke Bryan. I think that was Porter.
Yeah. In lots of areas of your life, you can do that.
Yeah. Just keep your mouth shut.
Hey.
I wanted to know, you mentioned your daughters, and you kind of mentioned that your one that's here is more excited about getting her hands on an iPad. Your other one's sort of worried about her play. I'm wondering, do they fully grasp who you are as Dierks Bentley, the guy on stage? Do you have any cool cred with them, or are you just like a cool dad?
That's a great question. It's so funny. The house, there's nothing really hanging up. I have like a little room we would call an office, but it's just, there's nothing. There's no gold records or platinum records, or do I have platinum records or just one platinum record? We'll just call it platinum records. I know that first one was. But I have my Grand Ole Opry, microphone. That's the one thing that's kind of lying around. But there's no, there's like all the number ones and all those plaques. Those are all just sit in the corner upstairs somewhere, or I guess they're here now. But they love the road. They love coming out in the summertime. They usually don't see the show because it's a little late, so they watch the openers. Maddie and Tay, they love watching them last year, and they see a little thing I do for some fans beforehand. But I don't know how many of my full shows they see, and they love music. We were big fans of encouraging music around the house, and if I get that question, are you famous or something like that, I just tell them I'm just a singer, and I'm trying to deflect it. I don't want that to be a thing, but they have. Is Jordan out there? No? Where's she? She's out there. So you don't care. So, but I asked her their dad, so I'm like, when do you stop being cool? When's the age you stop being cool? And I'm pretty sure it's right about now. With my 7-year-old is, our job is to drive her places and support her. But no, they're great kids, and they love it. They love country music, and it is fun to share this, definitely the road with them. They love being on the road, so.
You were talking about all the boxes that had been stored for so long. When you were going through those, was there something that you had totally forgotten about that it just came all flooding back when you picked up that object?
Yeah, well, I had some letters from Cass that were in there. A CD she'd made me for a long time ago. Some of her favorite songs in there from Coldplay and some other people she was trying to turn me on to back then. But yeah, there's some stuff that was just. There was a beer bong from the high school days was in there. I guess I'd kept it around for a long time. I didn't test it back out again, but yeah, I guess I found that was interesting. What I find in there, gosh, I made some major trips to Goodwill, dropped off a lot of stuff. Probably some old love letters like that was probably the best thing.
There's one right here.
Hey.
I'm curious, when you moved out of your house.
Is he allowed to ask questions?
He'll let the suits in.
What's your name? I'm sorry.
Joe
Bob
Galante.
Johnson.
Vaughn.
Yeah, shit-kicking country.
Yes.
When you moved out of your house in East Nashville, where did you live?
Well, I had a friend's couch. Sid Chambliss had a couch, and I had a houseboat for about a year. And couldn't get the houseboat in here. It was going to be nice to kind of get that represented that period of my life. Yeah, I had a houseboat for about a year. I always wanted to do that. That'd be pretty cool to live in a houseboat. And I was gone so much, I'd come home and you need laundry, so I'd try to get that done. But then I'd go out there and sleep with the spiders and just the dankness. But it was cooler in theory than it was in reality. Bad investment too. I'd have to ask Jamie. I think I bought it for 35 and sold it for 8. 10 years later.
Jan Thompson with the booth. So I'm wondering, you're a member of the Oscars.
Yes.
This exhibit here.
Yes.
You've won awards. You've had at least one platinum album.
Yes, I think.
What do you want to do to get that?
Really it's just about making records and trying to look for new things that excite me musically and just make great records. And I feel like also just on the touring element, I've worked so hard to get to this spot. I mean, I love the variety of playing all different types of shows and venues, but worked really hard to get to this headlining spot. As somewhere I thought I might have been back in 2007. We launched our tour right around the same time the economy took a big dive, and I spent 2.5 years on the road pounding my head against this door trying to play the headlining buildings. I remember playing the Auburn Palace of Auburn Hills one time. It was a place that holds about 20,000 people, and we had our usual 3,000 to 4,000 people there. I remember making a call back to Nashville, being like, "This is not good." Every review, because that was when you first start headlining, they review every show, right? So I'd read every review, and because they were reviewing us back then, and like, bless his heart, he played like it was a sold out show, but there's only about 4,000 people there. So and I kind of gave up on it all, and around 2009, and I called Mike and asked him if I could make a bluegrass record. I want to make a country record and a bluegrass record, and like one of those posters out there says, we played bluegrass and country music. He was up for it. He said, "Yeah, go for it." And I ended up making just one record, Up on the Ridge, and I really feel like that's been a turning point in my career, and that was kind of like a chance to reset and start over again. So I'm still chasing that same thing I was chasing back there in 2007, 2008, a chance to play some of these bigger rooms and do it on the biggest scale possible. I really love those big crowds and enjoy doing it at this level. So can continue to make great records that and hopefully just kind of pushing a little bit further down the road.
Such an interesting turning point up on the ridge, in that you effectively took yourself off the radio for a year and a half because they were not going to play bluegrass-oriented stuff. You were the first person since Emmylou Harris had done this in 1980 to be a contemporary country star who took a full-on bluegrass turn like that in the prime of your career. I mean, did Cassidy ever take you aside and say, "Dude, we got bills to pay"?
She was the one that was the biggest proponent of it. I remember being in our kitchen, and John Randall and Jesse Alexander were over, and she's like, "You should ask John. You should ask him. You should do it." And I remember being on the porch, being like, "Hey man, would you produce a record on me?" So it was the recording process was one of the best years of my life. It was off the grid completely. I mean, we're just working with Gary Pachosa at his house. Was walking distance from mine. He lived in Alison Krause's old house, so it's where Alison cut a lot of her vocals. So it was this great house. And we're off the grid. We're going up to Brooklyn to record stuff with the Punch Brothers. We're getting Christofferson to sing on stuff. We're just doing whatever the hell we wanted to do. And it's thanks to being part of a great, great working with great folks at Capitol, and made a record that just kind of got back to where it all started. I kind of gotten away a little bit of the record before that. I'd written every song on the record before that. I think it was Feel That Fire. And it's nice to write all the songs, but you're not going to get the best stuff doing that. And I just kind of I was so into touring, concentrating always on touring, and then trying to come back a record real quick and go, just butting my head against this touring wall, and I had to just get off the treadmill and just reset. And I think Duncan recognized that I just needed to get back to that kind of what was I thinking, vibe and feel, and the station in, and just get all that back together. And in an odd way, and people thought I was crazy, and it was the end of my career. And at that point, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this like I said before. It's just about following the muse and trying to do what's interesting for me. And at that point, I had no interest left in doing what I was doing. So made that record, and it really taught me a lot, about how to move forward as far as looking for great outside songs, and trying to really just, not that I wasn't before, but maybe towards the end, just the quality control. Every record needs to be the best, needs to be just, don't make records for touring, make records for records, and let that handle everything else. So I was getting away from that, and that record allowed me to really get back to trying to make great records.
Kelly Sutton's country outfit about Black, now talking about the record, what can we look forward to, and give us a little preview of what's
Well,
coming.
yeah, I'm really excited about the record. It's, we're putting singles out right now. It's hard to, it'd be nice if the singles, follow the story of the album, but it's kind of like, I look at a record like a book, right now we just released chapter 12, and then the next single's gonna be chapter 3, and it's like you can't really get a vibe off the album just with the singles we're putting out there, but as a piece of work overall, it feels like it's, Riser was more of a personal journey. My dad passed away, my son Knox being born, and there's a lot of I stuff in that record, and with Riser and I Hold On, and this record feels more about just looking back of, with Cass, the last 10 years being married, and ups and downs and the craziness of the last 10 years, and more of a relationship-based record, and that song I felt like was kind of the cornerstone of the record, kind of like Riser was in the last record, and started to try to base everything around this idea of a relationship, and not just some of the darker sides as well as the obviously the happier sides too, but it's just a little more, I think it has some intrigue to it, some mystery to it, and hopefully when all the singles get out there, it'll tell the story. But I mean, I'm trying to make it. I'm making an album, making a record. I love making albums, love making records, and I love it when people buy the whole album. I would encourage that. At the same time, if someone wants to go buy a single, I'm not going to fault them for buying the single too. So I like to kind of have my cake and eat it too, or in the studio we call it have your take and edit too. And so I'd like to have I like to have people buy the album, but also I'd like to sell singles as well too, that the people don't want to go out there and pick up. But I feel like it's gonna be a really interesting record and have some nice unexpected twists and turns to it.
I just want to go real quickly back to the ACMs. You got the spot because Blake decided not to be here again. Have you had a chance at all to talk to him, get any pointers from him, or?
The way I'm looking, Blake got edged out. All right, he'd done his thing. It just wasn't working. People were getting tired of it. They had to bring in, they had to go a little more top notch. So I'm in there. So what was the rest of the question?
Have you received any pointers from Miss Hasbin?
Yeah, Blake, no. Luke too. I can't get anything off Luke about how to do it. He's like, "Oh, buddy, it'll be fine. Just have a few drinks. We'll get to the monologue." But yes, no real pointers on anything so far. I'm kind of, to answer Hunter's question, a little nervous about it, but I think that's a good thing. But yeah, no pointers at all so far. So hopefully it'll go good. We'll see. Either way, it's gonna be a fun time in Vegas. But if you got any pointers too, let me know. I'm open for anything.
What you do is you read the words,
Right,
that they put out, and you speak them into the microphone.
Well, yeah.
And it's terribly
Teleprompters
hard.
are hard. They mess up on you. No. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for people that are good hosts. I got a lot of respect for Blake. I got a lot of respect for Reba the year she did it. Brooks and Dunn. Vince was such a good host. I mean, he's like he was probably the pillar of just we're singers, and then you try to go make a video, and all of a sudden you're an actor in the video, and you have no skill doing that. And same thing with hosting an award show. I mean, it's just not there's people that are really good at that, and I'm taking it seriously. I want to have fun with it at the same time and be loose, but I got a lot of respect for people that have done it in the past, and I'm sure I'll have a lot more respect after I actually have to go through it and do it.
You mentioned Christofferson there, and you're about to be a part of that tribute.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
talk about your
Asking about the Christofferson tribute.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of us that are a part of this group are really just honored to be there. I've had a chance to meet him a few times and been a fan of his music for a long time, and and I had a chance to get him to sing on a record of ours and to be in the studio with him, and he's great. He's facing some illness, but when we were in the studio with him, he's just sang great, and it was so much fun to be around, and honored to be there. And I think our performance will be pretty cool. Bringing some friends in from the station world to help me put a unique spin on a song, and I think I just want to see him smile. I just want him to appreciate what we've done to his song, and hopefully he will. So
We've got time for one more, guys.
Hey, wave in the back.
Hey there.
Cameras. Hey, I'm Kristen from the AP. So I wanted to ask, I've been asking artists about taking dogs on the road, and I wonder, is there any issues, shedding?
My dog has left calling cards and many dance floors in the early days. I mean, we'd be sound checking at the Beaumont Club in Kansas City, and there's Jake doing his thing right where people are going to be standing, in like 4 hours, leaving his calling card. That's what I called it. So He went with me everywhere for about the first 2-3 years, and but when Cassidy moved to town, we got a house and we had a little tiny little yard, and he was much more content being home than being on the road. So yeah, he's put his time in. He logged his time on the couch waiting for me. He logged his time on Goldie, which we're still driving around in. Adding a new TV to Goldie this year, getting rid of the box, getting the flat screen. It's gonna be a big upgrade. And he's happier being home. So there's, yeah, we had at one point we had like 12 people on the bus and there's a dog. It's kind of crazy. And he's so protective. He would never sleep. He's up with the late guys and he'd get up with the early guys. And by day 3, he's like walking into walls and just like so tired. So it's a lot to manage having a dog on the road, trying to find time for him to sleep. But he's much happier now.
Dierks, you mentioned your dad earlier, and you came to this town in this vehicle that you still drive with him, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine his reaction to?
He'd be very happy with my shirts tucked in. When I was opening for George Strait, he would just ride me about not having my shirt tucked in. Look at George Strait. Look at George Strait. I'm like, I know I'm not George Strait. I'm doing, it's like he'd be very happy. I got my shirt tucked in. I'd probably say I should put on a tie, but he would definitely get a big kick out of this. I have this picture of him actually from the ACMs watching me win my my only ACM award, and back in 2003. And but someone took a picture right as I was on stage, and he and my mom. He's got a big smile on his face. He's rocking his Thunderbird bolo tie. Yeah, I assume he'd be pretty excited about this. He'd probably tell me to get a new truck. He'd say, "That's ridiculous. What are you doing? Get something that has an airbag." But yeah, he'd be very psyched.
Well, we're very excited about this, and thank you so much for the time and thought that you've put into all this. And it's great to have up here for people to see and understand your part in the story. And thank you.
Thank you guys. Thanks everyone at the Country Music Hall of Fame. They did a great job. They did all the work. I just kind of pulled out some stuff, and they displayed it wonderfully. And I'm looking forward to kind of checking out everything here except myself. Now I want to go walk around and see Monroe's mandolin. It's just it's just an amazing place here, and it's something I think all country singers wish they get down here more often. Just walk around and check it out because it's so interesting. The country music student that I am, I could spend a lot of time here.
It's a good place.
Thank you guys for all coming down.
Thank you all for being here. I think Joseph's going to tell you what to do now. Is that right, Joseph?